Is Divine Light of the Self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Shaktidarshana. First, let us offer pranams to Guru Parampara. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karuna Alayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Om Chaitanyam Shashwatam Shantam Vyomatitam Niranjanam Bindunad Kalatitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Harihi Om. So let us continue our previous discussion on Shaktidarshana. Today is 6th session of Shaktidarshana. Let us go to today's first session is what drives our life. What is the root of our life? So here we want to discuss the fear is the drive for our life, for everybody's life. Let us understand this. This series of programs is called Atma Darshana, or Who Am I, is nothing but awakening of wisdom. Shakti Darshana is what am I, awakening of energy, to realize I am energy. Satya Darshana is where am I, to live in the light, awareness. We see here a deer is being chased by a predator. Deer is running for life. This is what life is in a forest. This is how animals live. The deer has to run, otherwise it will die. The fear is the drive for the deer. How this is applicable to our life? We also evolved from animal life. Our nervous system has the spinal cord and brainstem, cerebellum and hypothalamus, which is we call as reptilian brain. It comes from the lizards. And we have a brain called mammalian brain, which is common to animals. And then a human brain, which is cerebral cortex, which is top upper portion of the brain, which is human. In fact, we have a combination of a lizard, an animal and human. We are all the three. In fact, entire evolution is there in our nervous system. So that means all evolutionary instincts are there in us. Whatever has happened in the evolution is there. It's a memory. Record is there in the form of nervous system. Right from the lizard to the mammal to the human brain. Of course, we don't live in the forest where life is threatened. Every moment there's a stress and tension. Any moment you can die. So that fear is not there because we don't live in the forest. But we live in a modern day world where a lot of security is built around us. Still, it is the lizard brain and mammalian brain which works first in our life, not human brain. So what is this human brain is all about? Human brain, what we call as thinking brain, is used for learning, planning, responding, attending, reflection, organizing, reason, and regulate. It's used for functioning, a functioning purpose in the world, very reasonable way. But our lower brain, which is called lizard brain, it is actually based on lizard instincts: fight or flight, freeze, fear, reaction. So survival, this is what lizard brain is all about. Fight, flight, and freeze. Thinking and always comes to human brain, right? This is first. See, I was trying to say. So showed this picture. A life in the forest. The deer has to run. Okay, survival is the primary key, right? And our brain has three components: lizard brain, mammalian brain, and human brain. It's three brains together. So we are actually a complete evolutionary product which is there in our nervous system. So any situation in life, which brain actually works first? Lizard brain works first. It has to work. Atma. Lizard brain is primary response to the life situation in life. Even though we don't live in the forest, you don't live in the same circumstances are not there. Our lizard brain, which is the spinal cord, responsible for fight or flight, survival, or freeze also. If the enemy is too strong, we'll just freeze. Okay. Fear. This is our lizard brain. Emotional brain is feeling. Feel. And remember also, some part of remember also. Okay. And then comes the human brain. Human brain, which is actually upper part of the brain, is for thinking purpose. Thinking means memory records it will use. Recorded in memory events, it will use for thinking purpose, for the present moment. Thinking, reasoning, logic, like that. But this whole system goes for a boot. Okay? When human brain is used for serving the lizard brain. And when human brain is used for serving the emotional brain. In fact, human brain should be the master. But human brain becomes the servant of lizard brain and emotional brain. So the way it happens is, let us say somebody sees one spider. Okay, right? The spider input, it goes to the visual thalamus, the visual cortex of the brain. From visual cortex, visual thalamus to visual cortex, then it goes to this called amygdala. Amygdala is just behind our ears at this point. That's actually what you call as emotional brain. Immediately, fear arises. Tremendous fear arises. We don't even think. It doesn't go to thinking brain. What you call as spider can do to me. I don't like spider. I'm afraid of spider. That reaction comes from the amygdala. All our fear response starts here. And it will immediately react to the spinal cord, lizard brain. Run, run, run. Freeze or fight. Okay. So look at this way. Our emotions, not very high emotions. So the brain stem or lizard brain is active, okay, and higher cortex operates, not emotionally involved situation. Situation where there's no emotions involved. The higher cortex, this part of the brain works, right? Whereas if the emotions are involved, it doesn't come to human brain at all. Lizard brain and animal brain work. All emotions are disturbing emotions. Anger, fear, excitement. Love is not emotion. Hate. This love in this is raga. Hate, dvesha, disgust. Right? You can see that, or I can give you PPT also. Don't worry. Okay. So this emotional disturbance, our middle part of the brain will work and lower part of the brain will work. Upper part of the brain will not go at all. So which part of your brain working every day? Instinct, emotion. Of course, we no longer live in a forest, right? We no longer live in a forest. The situations are not dangerous. In forest, any small thing happens, you lose your life. Here, don't you lose your life, but you lose your mind actually. Anything can happen in life. So, please understand, human brain is not designed for comfort. Human brain is designed for survival. Understand? Our human system, survival is the primary thing. We have to survive. Our entire system, nervous system, is designed for survival. And for survival, what is the key? Fear is the key. So our entire life is driven by fear, even though we don't live in that circumstance. See, any input, right? Five senses, some input comes from outer world, or input comes from the memories in the form of thoughts, stories, memories, imagination, and judgment. These inputs come to the brain. Brain is the computer. Okay. At every moment, the brain either can process through our emotional brain or instinct brain. It doesn't even go to logical brain. Sense inputs come, it straight go to emotional brain, or it goes to lizard brain. Why? First we have to analyze, is it a threat? If it is a threat, first question, any input in the world to outer world, the brain asks is it dangerous for me? Any input. Because brain's main job is to protect you. Understand? It even the a person who known person comes. Okay. First main question, is there a threat? Threat person or emergency is always first response. 24 hours a day. So first it will question, is it a threat? Now this need not be just from sense in outer world. It can be memory, thoughts, right? Is it a threat? Yes. Immediately, sympathetic nervous system, I told you earlier, sympathetic nervous system is reactive nervous system. Heartbeat will increase, blood pressure will increase, okay, your adrenaline gland starts pumping. and panic will start. For some people, panic is a little bit less. For some people, panic is very high. No, it's not a threat. Then immediately, parasympathetic nervous system is calming nervous system, relaxing. Immediately you relax. Now, wow, what next to do? The human brain works. The logic works. Reasoning works. Is it clear? So when I'm using the brain, I'm using the brain in as the mind. The mind uses the brain. So it's easier for us to understand the brain rather than the mind. In Vedanta, we typically use manas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, but I'm using a more concrete term called brain here. Because finally they have to operate through brain. So now, coming back to our good old picture, where is the fear? The fear is always about the future. Right? Fear is always about the future. Anxiety, worry, right? Whereas the past is about guilt, regret, grievances, sadness, bitterness, non-forgiveness. Now, the past is always recorded in memory. The future is imagined or projected, predicted. Right? So some thought comes from memory. Some past thought. Immediately our human brain should ask, what should I do? What is the question it will ask? Is it dangerous? Then immediately fear response will start. Anxiety will start. Again thought chain will start. Human brain should see past inputs and say, oh, okay, it happened past. Don't worry. Nothing to worry about future. But already it takes the input. It thinks about the future. What will happen to me in future? Creates into fear. And then it goes to animal brain and lizard brain. Are you living in the present moment? The human brain is given to us to live in the present moment. Make a proper decision in the present moment. Do you do it? This happens everywhere. In case, including the office, including the very friendly environment, also we do this processing goes on in our brain. So is this clear to all? Anybody has a question? Are we human or are we animals living in the human body? If your life is driven by fear, you are primarily human, animal. Life is driven by fear and emotions. It's an animal life in a human body. We are not come to the human part at all. Reasoning, thinking. Reasoning and thinking, we use it for fear, projection of the fear. What will happen to me in the future? So what is there? See, you have to understand what happens in case of our brain. So from a lizard brain, lizard has to fight or flight in the given present moment, not in the past or not in the future. Then it brings to mammalian brain. So compared to lizards, mammals are more organized as a community. So some emotions are there. Raga, dvesha is there. Love and hatred is there. So in this emotional mammalian brain, some memories are required. Okay, memories for instantly responding. See as a person is okay or not okay. Instant raga, dvesha. Whereas in human brain, the further storage is happened. Recording is happening. This event is recorded on such and such date for future reference. I'm saying their memory compared to our memory, their memory is designed for responding immediately. Use the memory for immediate response. Survival, immediate survival. Whereas human beings use the memory for future survival. So yesterday something happened. After 10 years, what should I do? That processing can be done with the human brain. Prevention, right? So this is what happens in case of, that's how the nature has evolved our nervous system. The question here now is, what is our life? The entire spiritual evolution is from animal life to human life to a divine life and transcending life. That's why the yoga system gives a lot of importance to the spinal cord, lizard brain, and midbrain, mammoth brain, to overcome the animal instincts, vasanas and samskaras coming from the animal life. Right? The spinal cord breathing I taught you can help you to get rid of that deep-rooted impressions. So anybody has a question on Zoom? Shravan? Kevin?
No, Guruji. No, Guruji.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Namaste, Darshamurti.
Is evolution only for the objects? No, right? Evolution is possible for manifested objects.
The question is not clear.
ಗುರುಜಿ ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ನಂದು ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ನಂದು ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಗುರುಜಿ, ನೋಡಿ ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ
ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ
ಎಕೋ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ?
ಹೌದು
ಮೇಡಮ್ದು ಎಕೋ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್ ಮೀ?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಈಗ ಎಕೋ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಈಗಲೂ ಎಕೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಗುರುಜಿ.
What about now?
ಇವಾಗ ಇದೆ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಎಕೋ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ,
Now?
ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಎಕೋ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಗುರುಜಿ, ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಕೋ ಇದೆ.
ಹಾ